Hello cherry lovers. Today I'm going to be making one of the best potato soups you have ever tasted. So stay tuned. Alright, we're going to begin with the ingredients. I've got, let's see, we're going to start over here with the bacon. I have 6 strips of bacon. You have to fry it up nice and crispy. It's already fried and crispy and broken into little small pieces. And in this pot right here, you can see there is the fat that was drained off the bacon. So you leave that in that pot. And the next thing we have here is 3 tablespoons of butter. And we have a medium onion chopped here. And we have 3 tablespoons of garlic. And here is 1/2, no, that's not 1/2, that's 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour. And here we have about 2.5 pounds of, the brand I used was Gold potatoes. And this is equals about 6 large potatoes. And here we have 4 cups of chicken broth. It looks a little different because this is my homemade broth that I'm using. Here is 2 cups of milk. Here is 2/3 cup of heavy cream. And then here I have 1.5 teaspoons of salt mixed with 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. And then this last container here contains 2/3 cup of sour cream. Now for the toppings, you can use chives. You can use some extra bacon that's been fried and crispy to put on top, not part of the bacon that goes into the recipe. And also you can use some cheddar cheese or whatever is your favorite cheese to go on the top. Now, we're going to get started here. I have, as you can see, the melted fat off the bacon. And the first thing that we're going to do is add in the onions with that fat. And we're going to add in the butter and let that melt. And as the butter's melting, it's kind of soft anyway. It's going to melt down, and we want to get those onions nice and translucent, which just means they're going to be cooked down and they won't be as crunchy. They'll be soft. So we're going to let that cook for probably about, it'll take about 3 to 5 minutes for the onions to get soft, and then I'll be right back. Okay guys, the next thing we're going to add here is our garlic. And you only need to let this saute for about 30 seconds. That'll be sufficient. You don't want that to brown. Mix that up really good. And then the next thing we're going to use, after you get the garlic up, give it about 30 seconds, we're going to add in the flour. And then you just want to mix this flour around until it's nice and blended in with your butter, your onions, your garlic. And it's going to be like a thick paste. You just keep stirring it for a few seconds. Get that all mixed up. Okay, the next thing we've got here, once we get this all mixed in, it's nice and soft and smoothed in. Make sure you get rid of all your flour on the sides. Okay, and then you're going to add in your potatoes. And be careful when putting this in. Just get your potatoes all in there. This potato soup, I made it several times now, but every time I make this soup, I do double batches so that I can take some to someone else, because everyone in the family that's tried it loves this potato soup. And of course, Larry loves it too. My children love it too. Okay, we got all the potatoes in there. And now the next thing we want to do is add in the chicken broth. Be careful, I'm always spilling something. Okay. You want to also add in with the chicken broth your milk and your cream. Got the milk there. And then I'm going to add in the cream. with that, and you want to stir that. Make sure you get down to the bottom because that's where your flour paste base is. Make sure you stir that all up. And then the next thing we're going to add right into that is our salt and pepper. And also, if you want a little more salt or a little less salt, make sure you salt that, season it, whether it's pepper or the salt, to your preference. Larry, he likes a little more salt. I like a little less. So I always put a little less salt, and I tell him just add you a little more salt to your bowl. Okay. I'm going to get that nice and stirred up there. And I'm going to increase this heat by one press. And we're going to bring that up to a boil. And then we're going to let this cook after it comes to a boil. Let this cook for about 10 minutes. And the way you can tell if it's ready, take you a fork. Make sure your potatoes are fork tender. If they're fork tender, then it's ready to go on to the next step. I'll be right back. Okay guys, now that your potatoes have cooked for the 10 minutes and they are fork tender, mine are fork tender, that means that the fork pierces them easily, softly. Then you want to reduce your heat to low and on your pot, and then we're going to move this pot over to my counter, and I'm going to show you what you do next. Okay, you have to remove half of the soup. It's about 5 cups. You don't have to measure it, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but this pot will hold a little over 5 cups. So you want to scoop out, measure it however you want to do it. Take your time and don't get burned. And you're going to take out half the soup. And then you're going to pop it in your blender for about, well, mine would take probably about 20 seconds to pulverize it. So it's not very long. So I'm just going to pour this in here, hoping that I don't make a mess. Okay. And then you're just going to put your top on and blend that up until it's kind of smooth. It doesn't have to be completely. That's good enough right there. Just as long as your potatoes are all broken down. Now, if you prefer all your potatoes nice and whole and thick, that's perfectly fine. I like mine somewhat a few thick and then some mashed. And I will actually take the rest of this out of here in a minute. But I'm just going to finish up and show you our final steps. Okay, now you're going to take this pot and put it back on your eye. Make sure that's still there. It's on low. You're going to mix that up. Mix that up really good so you get all of your thick, the paste-like, mixed up really good. Get that going and let that simmer. Now I've got that all mixed up. The next thing we want to do, our ingredient here, we want to add in that sour cream and your bacon bits that you've already fried, already crisp up. I'm going to put that in there and add those bacon bits in there, and then just stir that up. Make sure you mix that up. Make sure that nothing is sticking on the bottom. Make sure you thoroughly mix that sour cream. As you can see, I can still see just a few white clumps of sour cream. So you want to get that completely mixed up. Okay. Once that's completely mixed up, your sour cream is dissolved, guess what, guys? Your potato soup is done. Now, I don't know if Larry's gonna try it or not, but I guess I will have to try it. But I'm going to get this completely mixed up and my sour cream completely dissolved, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, now my sour cream is all dissolved. The next step is to simply bring this to a simmer and let it cook for 15 minutes. And actually the pot is still hot enough for it to be at a simmer. So just turn on your 15 minutes, and at 15 minutes, your soup will be all done. But you need to let it simmer for another 15 minutes, and I left that out. Okay guys, I've let this cool off a little bit because I don't eat really hot food, but I did sprinkle some cheese on top of mine for the topping. Sometimes I use bacon bits. And sometimes I use chives, but today I sprinkled some cheese on top, and I just want to show you how this turned out and how delicious and how tender the potatoes are. I think I could eat this potato soup every single day and would be okay with that. It is delicious. You can taste the bacony flavor. You can taste the oniony, garlicky flavor. It's really good, guys. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I think this is one of the best potato salads I've ever tasted. So, if you like this video, remember, look up here now, up above, like and subscribe. Thank you and have a great day.